Now the next topic is Gibbs free energy. Delta G. Actually, with the help of Gibbs free energy, change in free energy, we can decide which reaction is spontaneous and non-spontaneous or at equilibrium. If delta G is negative, then it indicates that the reaction is spontaneous. If it is positive, then reaction is non-spontaneous, and if it is 0, then reaction is present at equilibrium. Then the system is present at equilibrium. Actually, spontaneity decided by the delta S total also. Delta S total. Delta S system knows only delta S system. Delta S total means delta S system plus delta S surrounding. And for spontaneous reaction, delta S total must be positive. Actually, delta S total cannot be calculated because delta S system can be calculated, but delta S surrounding is not. So we use the concept delta G, because this is for system only. And it can be calculated. So according to the second law of thermodynamics, delta S total also decides the spontaneity, but it cannot be calculated, so it is the theoretical concept only. If delta S total is positive, then reaction is spontaneous. If delta S total is 0, then the system is at equilibrium, and if delta S total is negative, then reaction is non-spontaneous or system is non-spontaneous. Question is how delta G is calculated. Actually, it is calculated by using this formula: delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Delta G is the change in free energy, delta H is the change in enthalpy or heat of reaction, T temperature in Kelvin, delta S is the change in entropy. For spontaneous reaction, delta G is equal to positive. Now we deal some cases. Case 1. If delta H is equal to negative and delta S is equal to positive, then if delta S is positive, then the sign must be negative, because temperature cannot be in negative. It is always positive, and delta H is negative. So the sign of delta G is always negative at any temperature. So at these conditions, when exothermic reaction and entropy increases, if delta H is equal to negative and delta S is equal to positive, then reaction is always spontaneous at any temperature. Because sign of delta G always negative, hence reaction is spontaneous. This is the first case. Now case 2. if delta H is equal to negative and delta S is also negative, then at what condition reaction is spontaneous? When delta S is negative, then it is positive, and delta H is negative. So for spontaneous reaction, delta G should be negative. So magnitude of delta H must be greater than T into delta S. Delta H, the magnitude of delta H must be greater than T into delta S for spontaneous reaction. Then delta H must be greater than T into delta S for spontaneous reaction. Or we can say that such reaction can be spontaneous at lower temperature. At lower temperature, temperature should be low. Such reaction can be spontaneous at lower temperature. Now case 3. If delta H is equal to positive and delta S is also positive, then at what condition reaction becomes spontaneous? If delta S is equal to positive, then the sign of T into delta S is negative and delta H is positive. And for a spontaneous reaction, delta G must be negative. So T into delta S, magnitude of T into delta S must be greater than delta H. And such type of reaction can be spontaneous at higher temperature. At higher temperature, then T into delta S must be greater than delta H for spontaneous reaction. So you can decide at what condition reaction becomes spontaneous. Now case 4, and such type of reaction can be spontaneous at higher temperature. Case 4, if delta H is equal to positive and delta S is equal to negative, then delta H positive, delta S negative, 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 positive. So sign of delta G is always positive. The sign of delta G is always positive. Such type of reaction cannot be spontaneous. It is always non-spontaneous because the sign of delta G is positive. Then reaction is always non-spontaneous. At any temperature, because the sign of delta G is positive. So these are the cases for the spontaneous and non-spontaneous reaction. So and we also see the numericals on this equation after completing the theory part. Now we see the relation between delta G and delta G naught. Delta G naught is the standard gas free energy. So these are the conditions and this is the formula, right? Now relation between delta G naught. Actually this is delta G is equal to delta G naught plus 2.303 RT log base 10 Q. Q is the reaction quotient. You already know that reaction quotient is product upon reactant ratio. Active massage of the product upon active massage of the reactant at any time. But when equilibrium is achieved, then Q is replaced by K. K is the equilibrium constant. At equilibrium, Q is replaced by K, and then K is equal to product upon reactant ratio at equilibrium. Here Q is the reaction quotient. Now, at equilibrium, delta G is equal to 0 and Q is equal to K. K is the equilibrium constant. K is the equilibrium constant. So, put these values in this equation. 0 is equal to delta G naught plus 2.303 RT log K, and delta G naught is equal to minus 2.303 RT log K. This equation is used in numericals. K is the equilibrium constant. R can be present in joule or calorie according to the question. R is 8.314 joule per Kelvin per mole in joule, and calorie 2 calorie. So this equation can also be used for numericals. So this is the theory part and the formula part of the chapter. Now we see some question based on the Gibbs free energy.